All right, here we go. So feedback on Project 2, the event ad. I love this ad for a lot of reasons. The photo is really strong and a little scary. You know, there's some good emotional pull in it. There's a nice repetition of color with the orange down here in this orange. Um, I love the white space in the photo. Anyway, just some really nice things going on here. You'll want to minimize your margins. So I know this is a very vertical photo, but I don't know. I guess you could go a couple of different ways. I think the project specs say that you have to have one edge that's full bleed. So you could use top and bottom and leave these white um, bars on the sides. I guess that would be okay. But think about that. You know, I wonder if you made your photo just a little bit bigger. Could it fill some of this space? Not that we're trying to get rid of space, but you want the biggest bang for your buck, and you're going to end up either chopping these two sides off, or you know you're going to leave them on, and then it looks just a little awkward. Also, your text gets trapped because it doesn't have the full width. So having that full width, I think, could really help you. Your text, your typography, there's a nice contrast between this all caps line and then the not all caps lines. I would like to see more contrast. I would like to see annual Bear Mountain Ski Contest really pop out. Um, Give it some space, give it some size, maybe give it some, you know, maybe ski contest could be bigger or bolder or something, because annual Bear Mountain maybe isn't quite as important as ski contest, or maybe you decide annual Bear Mountain is more important, so make that stand out. You know, you could make this title a lot more visually interesting just by making a contrast between, you know, the thing that you want to stand out the most and the thing that is secondary in importance. So it's a ski contest. It looks like the proceeds go to the U.S. Paralympics, but I don't know who's sponsoring it. Uh, Maybe the Bear Mountain is sponsoring it. And if that's true, then I suppose I could live with this. Um, but if it was sponsored by, I don't know, um, you should probably say somewhere, sponsored by. Maybe it could just be ski contest sponsored by or annual ski contest sponsored by Bear Mountain Ski Resort, something like that. And then the date and the time and entrance fee makes it very clear what I need to do. Now, all of your text is center aligned. So, I mean, this line and this line and this line, the only thing they have in common is this center. So it is balanced, which is good, but it's also a weak alignment. And I wonder if you could use this really nice strong line in your photo to create a strong connection with your text. You know, could you right align some text over here and left align some text over here so that you've got this really strong alignment? Also, your text is a little bit crowded in this box, especially here, the head space of the text. This is probably okay space, and this is okay space, but the top and maybe the bottom are a little bit too close. I wish you had a little bit more space in that box. Maybe something could break out of the box. You know, maybe ski contest could be out here on the photo, or maybe your box could be bigger. Also wonder about this, this text and this text and this text. If stacking that would help the alignment or the strength and unity. Because they're definitely aligned in this direction, which is good, but the space between them and there's no vertical strong connection. I don't know. Just a thought. It's not bad, but I would consider looking at that. Also, uh, create a hierarchy in your body copy. And it's not like a whole paragraph or anything, but right now the date, time, and place are exactly the same size, the same weight as proceeds go to U.S. Paralympics. I don't think they deserve the same weight, and visually they shouldn't function the same because they don't function the same. It's totally different kind of information. Okay, let's go to the next one here. Dream Car Drive. Nice little contrast here in the title with that color. That really pops nicely and then repeats with your car and the other text. I don't think this text is very easy to read, this red text. Now up here, it's pretty clear and pretty easy, maybe because of the size, maybe because of the color that's up here. But down here, this text is pretty tough to read in some places, and it causes a little bit of, what is that when opposite colors are next to each other, a little bit of vibration or something in the text. I almost don't want to read it. So reconsider how the color that you're using for this text, just for readability purposes. Maybe it's size too, maybe it's the background that's the problem. But any of those things can be adjusted. Since you're contrasting this, I wonder about contrasting it more. Could it be? Could it also have a size contrast or a weight contrast? And also, for heart disease, could that align with something? It's aligning with this I, but the I isn't a place. The letter I isn't a place in this line of text that is obvious. So use an obvious place for alignment. Maybe somewhere here where the white and the red are divided, or maybe on these edges, you could align this there. And also, this text is aligned with itself, but it's not connected to anything else. Why not? All it would take is bumping it over a little bit to connect it. I would like to see some contrast in this text so that it functions visually differently than all the other text in here. So it looks like we're going to go for a drive. Maybe we get to ride in our dream car. Oh, it's $100 per hour, and we can donate more if we want. This is where it's at. It's probably sponsored by, I don't think I'd use this @ symbol. I think I would say sponsored by Eastern Idaho Regional Medical Center. And then all proceeds go to. So that's good. And you've got the date and the time, and I guess the place. If you say sponsored by, you might need to say, where the location is. Meet at. Yeah. Anyway, think about this. Your audience has no idea what this is about. So make sure that it's very clear what they need to do, where they need to show up, who it's sponsored by, etc. Okay, good job. One last thing, and this is just a little thing. Do your reds match? This red down here looks a little darker than this. This is kind of almost a neon-y. It's really bright. I would say make more of a repetition there with those colors. Anything else? Nope. Hope that helps. Whoops. Here's the next one. Family success. Do you want to prepare for the best marriage possible? Do you want to improve your current marriage? When and where? Okay. So, who is sponsoring this? Who is benefiting from it? The proceeds. What does it cost? Or should I donate something? If this is an event that you're advertising, maybe it's just like a seminar for married students. Or maybe it's not for married students. Maybe it's for people in the community. So some of those things aren't very clear. This scan, it looks like it's been stretched. So there's a problem with the proportions of these people, that they've been squished in, and they're not they're not the right proportions. So you never want to do that with either typography or with photography. Also, you've got kind of a cross hatch pattern in this photo, which it's not a bad texture, but it's also a sign that your scan wasn't done as well as it could have been. So what you'll want to do when you scan this image is look for the D-screen filter, and that will help get rid of some of this cross-hatching that you've got in that texture. You have a nice strong alignment here. I think the pumpkin might detract a little bit. It looks like maybe this is a pumpkin carving contest, or I don't know. The photo has to be clear. Right now, I think there's a problem with the gestalt on this advertisement. You know, what's going on? How does it relate to the text? So make that very clear. You know, maybe you even change the event to go along with this photo more. Maybe it is a pumpkin carving contest. But you decide. Just be sure that you make it very, very clear, and that the gestalt, it all communicates one big whole idea. Wow, this is a beautiful scan. Notice that there's not that cross hatching, and so the image is clear and pristine. And you compare it, you know, these other images aren't bad, but you compare these two, and you can just tell this is a high quality image. Nice strong alignment here, nice contrast where this definitely stands out. I know what the event is. These two lines could have less space between them so that they feel like a single unit. It would be nice if you had some contrast in the title. So what is the most important phrase, or what is the most important word? It's probably not annual. It's probably horse auction. So maybe those words could stand out, or maybe horse could stand out. You really want to appeal to the horse lovers or something. So consider some contrast in here where one word or two words pop. You have a nice strong line here. Whoops, but but this line is not tied into anything else. Everything should be aligned to something, and these lines are aligned to each other, but why not unite these lines? You know, what is this aligned to? I don't think it's aligned to anything. If you draw that invisible line up through it, same with this, not aligned to anything. So everything should be aligned to something. You might want some contrast in here. So, and breeds unknown. I don't know if that's very, very appealing. All right. I just had somebody knock on my door. In fact, I had two students come in and visit me, and I've totally lost my train of thought where I was at with this particular event ad. I've probably said some things about alignment and contrast, and white space is really pretty good. Be nice to see a little hierarchy. I probably said that already. Let's see, after the auction, let me make sure that it's clear what we need to do here. So we're going to a horse auction with rescue horses. Purchased horses are to leave with their new owner. Okay, that helps me know that I'm going to need to bring a trailer or something. Ages, 20% of the profits will be donated to the local animal rescue. Okay, great. And this must be where I go and when, and this must be the sponsoring organization. So yeah, I think that's fairly clear. One other thing I wonder about, and I'm not sure what to do about this, but this horse doesn't have a lot of lead space. In other words, his nose is almost right up there against the edge of this ad. And I'm not sure exactly what you do about that, because I'm sure there's not any more image over here for you to, that you could just move this over. And if you moved it over and put a bar here or something, then it would still be the same problem. So not exactly sure how to fix that. Not exactly sure how to keep your viewer's eye on the page. So where this horse is looking, there isn't so much of a flow going on here. My eye kind of jumps around, and these couple of things pop out. This is next, and that's last. But there's not an easy flow through the information. Alignment will help that a little bit. But something to think about. Have to play with it for a while. You maybe consider cropping the image differently. What would happen, for example, and I'm not suggesting that you do this necessarily, but what would happen if you cropped this image so that all we saw was maybe this part of the horse. I don't know. Think about that. See what happens, and hope that's helpful. Here's the last one. Oh, this one looks like it's sideways. So I guess that's okay if you do it landscape. Let me zoom out a little bit so we can see the whole thing. And let's move it in like this. Okay, so it's a gardening convention. I love this photo. It's strong, and yeah, it's very powerful. Please remember that the edges of this won't print, and you'll have to cut them off. So be sure to keep your text far enough away from that you don't lose any of it or get it too close to the edge. Let me read the text here for just a second. Gardening convention. It's that time of year again to raise money to support one of our favorite charities. Come to the gardening convention at the Grand Teton Mall in Idaho Falls, Idaho. All profit will be donated toward the Wounded Warrior Foundation. All profit. So is there an entrance fee? Or what am I going to be, what's going to happen here at this gardening convention? That needs to be clear. Will it be a whole bunch of vendors who are trying to sell me things, and they get charged the entrance fee, or do I get charged the entrance fee? Or am I buying, I don't know. Just be sure to make that clear. Also put some hierarchy, some contrast in here. Right now, all of this body copy is functioning the same, so make sure there's some contrast. I like this strong alignment, but it's not connected with anything in the image. I wonder if there's a way that you could, for example, right align your text so that it pulls us in, connects this side and this side to a common place. Where your image is strong right now, you just have this kind of direction going on. Anything else? I think the text is readable. I don't think it all needs to be pink. Consider making something white. And that would be a little contrast that would add some interest. Again, the photo is strong. It's just this typography that I think needs some pushing and massaging, I guess you could say. All right, that's that video. Thank you.